Hey guys, it's Chris and welcome back to another Game of Thrones Season 7 preview video, and this time we're talking about Game of Thrones Season 7, Episode 4, The Spoils of War. Alright, our first little scene here, we have Cersei talking to Tycho from the Iron Bank. She is trying to reassure him here that she will in fact get his damn money. And of course we just saw in episode 3 her sack Highgarden via Jaime and the Lannister army. And of course they made it a goal in episode 3 to show the gold that they did capture from Highgarden. So this is her plan to get back the money to the Iron Bank so she can pay her debts. But unfortunately I don't think in episode 4 that this is going to go very well for her. Dany needs a win here bad. She's lost all her allies pretty damn quickly. But the point being here, just like everything else that Cersei has ever planned, it will go horribly wrong, I'm sure. So this next episode, we should see some fucking dragon fire for the first time this season. And it's about damn time because Dany needs a victory badly here in this war. She thought this would go rather easy with all the allies she had. And of course her own large army as far as the Dothraki and Unsullied. So she needs a victory bad here. She's going to say the hell with all the rules and all the planning. I'm going to take my dragons out and fucking burn some shit up. And this next little scene here with Dany and company on the beaches of Dragonstone kind of confirms what I just said. She is saying she's basically lost all her allies. She has lost now the Tyrells and the Martells, both in a very short amount of time as far as this season goes. We're not even halfway through the season yet, and she is technically losing the war pretty damn badly at this point. Although they did take Castle Rock, it really wasn't that important as we saw. And of course Tyrion went in episode 3 to brood about it. So she's definitely going to have to listen to Lady Olenna's advice, R.I.P. the Queen of Thorns. So at this point, she's going to have to ignore Tyrion's advice for a little bit. There's going to be a balancing act here, and kind of listen to what Lady Olenna Tyrell told her last episode about be a damn dragon. So she is going to unleash her dragon fire for the first time this season, and I don't think Cersei's going to be able to recover that gold as she plans to. We see a shot here of the Lannisters on the battlefield, Jaime and Bronn of course, and this is likely going to be right before Dany attacks with the Dothraki for the first time in the open field in Westeros. Plus she's going to be riding Drogon and do some real damn damage. This is going to be Field of Fire 2.0. We see Tycho talking to Cersei again here, saying you have the support of the Iron Bank once the gold is actually delivered. And then we cut over to a shot of Jaime looking at the gold they just recovered from Highgarden. And this is kind of reiterating the point here that I mentioned earlier. This is their plan to pay off the Iron Bank, and it's not going to go so well because Jaime is in the field on the way back with all this gold to King's Landing so that they can give it to the Iron Bank or whatever to pay off their debts. But of course Dany is getting tired of losing, and now she's going to bring a dragon, specifically Drogon, into the fight here, and things are going to change really quickly for the Lannisters, and this will be the bulk of their forces as well as the Tarleys too. So this one victory that I'm assuming we're going to see next episode will be really huge and turn the tide really quickly as far as Cersei goes, because she can no longer count on the support of the Iron Bank if they don't get that gold back to King's Landing. We see a shot here of someone pulling out the cat's paw dagger, and this looks to be Littlefinger here. You can see the rings on his finger and a little bit of his cloak as well. He is pulling out this dagger, so it makes you wonder what the hell is going on here. This is the blade that basically started it all. So I'd said about a year ago in Dragon Raised by Wolves that I did think this dagger was going to come back into play. Of course we've seen Arya now wearing this in promo shots on magazine covers, so Arya will end up with this blade somehow. So I'm wondering here what Littlefinger's doing drawing this blade. He should be still in Winterfell, but I don't think he's going to leave Winterfell alive. And as a matter of fact, in an ironic twist of fate, I think this dagger will be the one to take Littlefinger's life at some point, and hopefully Sansa gives that damn order. And also, as I mentioned earlier in the live stream, I do think Bran has something to do with that. He will be able to see the past and see that Ned Stark actually was betrayed by Littlefinger and that he held a knife to his throat. So the truth is going to come out here, and Littlefinger will suffer at the hands of this very blade. And our next scene, Dany kind of confirms what I was saying earlier. Enough of the clever planning. I'm going to take a fucking dragon out and burn some damn shit up. A quick shot of the Lannister army on their way back from Highgarden here, carrying the actual gold we were just talking about, and this will probably never make it to King's Landing, giving Cersei her first defeat in this war, and this will put her in a very precarious situation, and they will likely never get the gold they were promised. Therefore they will back somebody else, and that somebody else can only be Dany with 3 fucking dragons. This looks to be a quick shot of Jon here. I'm going to guess this is going to be the caverns at Dragonstone as they go look for that dragon glass. As we saw in episode 3, Dany did give him permission to mine dragon glass, so they're going to go to the caverns here, probably with Dany, to see the dragon glass for the first time and start mining it for the wars to come as far as the White Walkers. Podrick getting knocked on his ass, and I can only assume here this is back in Winterfell, probably still fighting with Brienne as far as sparring and training, so he's getting his ass whipped, but hopefully Podrick's learning a thing or two with the sword, but we all know that he has a magical sword anyway. And next we have a little shot of Theon coming back to Dragonstone, it looks like, and this is going to be him and the Ironborn. And of course Jon is going to be waiting here at Dragonstone for him. And it's not going to be pretty when Theon meets Jon for the first time in a long time since season 1, because in fact he did betray Robb, although Jon doesn't know what he's been through. Although Jon may not know the whole entire extent of what he's been through, he does know that he did save Sansa's life, so Jon's probably going to be a little pissed off, but he won't kill him necessarily because he did in fact rescue Sansa. A little shot of Jon and Dany getting a little closer as they go beneath Dragonstone to find the Dragonglass. So I'm assuming here this will be the caverns below Dragonstone where they see Dragonglass, and we do see Missandei in the background, so they're not going to be quite alone yet, but they will show the Dragonglass here and start mining it and explaining what the hell it does, so Dany may start to believe his story a little bit. A quick shot of Littlefinger turning his head, so it's really hard to say what he's doing, but I'm assuming he is in Winterfell and probably up to something sneaky. Next we have a shot of Brienne here swinging a sword, and I'm going to guess here this is probably too early for Littlefinger's death if it would be Brienne to swing the sword if Sansa does sentence him to death. So I'm going to guess here based off the previous scene with Podrick, this is her sparring with Podrick again, or perhaps Arya. Arya will be showing up this episode, I believe, so she could come into play here, but we did see Podrick getting knocked on his ass earlier, so it could very well be her training Podrick again, or perhaps Arya comes in and she does a little sparring with her. The next shot is Arya coming home to Winterfell for the first time since season 1. So we were all pretty much right about the shots we saw earlier. This is her cresting the hill here, seeing Winterfell in the distance for the first time since season 1. So Arya is coming home. She will get to meet Sansa and Bran for that matter, since he's back now, although he's acting fucking weird. We have emo Bran now, but the point being we will have a mini Stark reunion here, and of course they just missed Jon because he is in Dragonstone. And a shot here of Sansa making a difficult decision, it seems. She's looking down at some papers here, and I'm wondering what the documents are here she's looking at. I'm wondering if this something has to do with Jon's heritage or something that Bran has told her and she's going to look up some kind of records of it. But this actually may be the copies of Raven Scrolls they mentioned in episode 3, where Maester Luwin apparently kept a record of every raven sent to and from Winterfell, apparently for as long as he was Maester. So this definitely may be something to implicate Littlefinger, and we may see a scroll here related to Littlefinger's communication with Cersei about marrying Sansa to Ramsay fucking Bolton, and how he promised he would not rest until a Lannister flag flew over Winterfell. So this will implicate Littlefinger in some way and be the beginning of his end. And then finally a shot of Dany here on Drogon. If you look really close, you can see her on his back. This is going to be her swooping down into the field for Field of Fire 2.0, and of course the Dothraki in an open field against the Lannisters here. This is going to take up a lot of the episode, I'm going to assume. This is going to be a huge battle mid-season. It tells you how important it is. And of course back in season 1 when Cersei was talking to Robert and their one and only intimate conversation, he of course mentioned that meeting the Dothraki in the open field would be the stupidest thing you could possibly do. But Cersei's going to do exactly that. She has no choice now. She went to Highgarden. She's trying to bring the gold back to pay off her debt. But that will not work out because Dany's going to finally break out the fucking dragons and get herself a damn victory. Anyway, guys, that's all I got for episode 4, The Spoils of War. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And thank you to everyone who stopped by the live stream earlier. And I believe during that live stream, due to you guys stopping by and hanging out, we did make it to number 12 on live trending. So that was very cool. So thank you to everyone who stopped by, even if it's just for a few minutes. I really appreciate you hanging out. Thank you for all the support as usual, especially to you guys on Patreon. And a huge shout out to my executive Patreon smokescreen producers, Griffin, Volguy10, Lala Gig, Kissa Powell, The Snow in Winterfell, Marilyn Bentley, JoAnna, Sean Hayes, Anonymous, Doc Holiday, Goska, HoonJive, Kieran D20, Nicki Snow, Lo Horton, Erin Habig, Ashley May, Brian Solarz, Dean Bwell, Karla Stark, John Carey, and Anastasia. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate the support. Be sure to subscribe to get everything, and be sure to click that damn notification bell so you're notified when I drop a new video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.